to our Attract Soul for Love group coaching call for the month of April 2025. It is the 12th day of April, and we have a interesting lineup for today, because what we're going to cover today is elements of the whole model. And so we've been at this for a while, and it's been serving me, and I trust it's been serving you. I want to remind you that I decided upon this particular banner, this particular teaching, because it was the next step in my own personal evolution and my evolution of the students. We had developed our security. We began to look at our own selffulness and benefiting ourselves, and we began to be interested in our lives. And so, from having a relationship of connection with God, with ourselves, that we can trust in God, and we do trust in God, that we became people that we could trust ourselves. God gave you a mind. Do you look after it? Do you educate it? Do you get rid of all the limiting programming? God gave you a body. Do you value it in the best of molds? Do you care for that body? You get what I mean? If you become aware of your Creator, you will recognize how loving and caring, absolutely loving and caring your Creator is for you, to you, and for everybody. The more we really become aware of our Creator, we actually recognize how benefited we are, and we can trust in our Creator. We trust that our Creator created us for our good. You get what I mean? That we are here and that we are blessed as human beings on the planet. If you look at us, the way we have the ability to reason. Animals don't have the ability to reason. We have bodies in certain shapes and molds, the way we are designed compared to insects and plants and, all that sort of thing, animals. You can see that we are the favored creation of God, as the Quran tells us, we are the favored creation of God. And we've been given favors and not given to other creation on earth. Now, some of us are becoming aware, really aware of God and His favoring nature and how cared for we are by God. And He also gave us the ability to live in a caring way of ourselves. And He gave us the ability to be caring to each other and to give and receive caring not only to ourselves but to each other. This is something that you can become aware of. If you want to step onto an amazing journey of a lifetime, on the path of security, you can become aware of how loving, supportive, favoring God is of us human beings, and how we are actually favored. You can become aware. That's the message of the scripture. Become aware of the favors of your God, of your Lord. Which of the favors of your Lord do you deny? Which of the favors of your Lord do you deny? Meaning, you can actually become aware of how caring your Creator is for you, for your parents, for your children, for your spouses or ex-spouses or future spouses or future children, whatever it is, that we as human beings, we can trust God. And you don't have to live like a needy person, needy on God, because you have God. God is absolutely valuable to us, and we can become adults with our Creator. And we can realize that we don't depend on ourselves, we don't depend on each other, nobody depends on us. That it is our Creator who created us favored, and He gave us gifts and favors. We have ability to reason, we have bodies in the best of molds, we have life on earth, we have water that is palatable, food to eat, we have teeth to chew with, and different kinds of teeth to choose different kinds of thing. We got like molars and premolars, grinding teeth for meat, and we got incisors, cutting teeth. We got, canines for tearing at things. I mean, how considered is that? He didn't just give us one type of teeth all around, right? He gave us different types of teeth. And then you get milk teeth, and then you get meat teeth, you know what I mean? Which is basically your temporary teeth and your milk teeth. And then you also get, in later life, you get wisdom teeth, you know what I mean? If you lost some of the front ones, the wisdom teeth come in as a backup. I mean, this is what the scripture tells us. Recognize our Creator and His extent of caring to us. So some of us have had that opportunity. I've had that opportunity to draw closer to my Creator. I've chosen to draw closer. I'm closer to my Creator than I've ever been. And, I'm very grateful. I really am very grateful to be on the path of becoming a believer, living at a higher level of consciousness, feeling that trust in God, feeling that assurance, no longer stressing and straining. Nothing is needed of me. You get it? I mean, we need God. We have God, but we're never needy on God. He is spinning the earth on the axis. We don't have to say, and remember God, don't forget my premolars and my molars, and don't forget my incisors and my canines. God got all that sorted. We are the ones who will not respect our mouths and teeth. We are the ones who won't brush. We are the ones who will let these teeth, lovely teeth that God has given us, clean. The Prophet used miswak to clean it. Before there was toothpaste and all that, he was using the miswak to clean. He was guided. So we can be cleaning of these teeth. You get what I mean? Or not. We can recognize, wow, teeth, what value they have and what difference it makes to us. We can become aware. I'm just saying, And we can say, wow, if you look at us, we've got ears to hear, eyes to see, a nose to smell. Nose not only helps you eat your food more pleasurably, because the smell of the food and the taste combines. This is the extent that God has gone to give you a satisfying experience of eating. Foods that taste good. He says, eat halal and tayyib, wholesome. Provided for. He didn't say, I'm giving these chaps, all haram food, they must just eat it. I don't care. He didn't say, I'm not giving them any tayyib food, no tayyib opportunities. I don't care about these chaps. Allah cares. He gave us the body. He cares about our bodies. He cares for us. You can, if you want to reason, right? If you want to draw closer to your Creator, you can. Or you can live unaware of God and continue your unawareness. Now, I have chosen to learn, and I've chosen to learn about security. And I spent about the last, from about 2018, 2019, 2020, all the way to about 2023, 2024, focusing on my security conscious and developing that with my students. So we've been doing that, drawing closer to God, and we trust in God more than we have ever trusted. And we've let go of the child ideas that we grew up with, our parents and their child ideas that they grew up with. Nobody told me what I just told you. You get what I mean? But I can see it. Sometimes nobody told you about God, and nobody told you about His kind nature, and nobody told you He's available to you. The Quran says God is closer to you than your own jugular veins, always available to you, unfailing, ever responsive. Nobody might have told you this, because they weren't aware of it. They might have had people tell them things just believe this, fill up your mind with these ideas, but it wasn't an awareness. You get what I mean? So when you're growing up, you might have never been guided to God consciousness. You might have been guided to religion, which is something completely different, right? Many people belong to religion and religious groups of different kinds, but they have no faith. Many people, you understand? Meaning like they're not God conscious. Like I'm telling you that which of the favors of your Lord do you deny? Are you aware that you're actually okay? Everything is okay. Aware that you are taken care of. That nothing is needed from you. You couldn't cause yourself to be. You don't need to take care of yourself. You don't need to take care of anybody else. That we're all taken care of by God, This is the guidance that has come, and some of us can have received it. And so we don't live as children unaware. We live as adults aware. We feel that security with God. We trust in God. So because we trust in God, we feel very different, secure. So, and that's what I've been doing from about 2019. 2019, we started the Believer's Refuge training program, and so on and so forth. But remember, my journey goes back to the 90s. But my submission to our universal Creator was after 2016, 2017, around there into 2018. I was guided to submission and God awareness. My work took a completely different turn from being psychological, psycho-spiritual, to being really spiritual, And now I can't teach anybody anything without first teaching them about, in the remembrance of God, heart's experience, assurance. If you don't feel that assurance, if you don't know that you can trust in God, you don't release into His care. He's the one who created you, right? He's the one who created your needs and desires. He's the one who provided for you. He created us with spousal needs and desires and preferences, and He has provided for us. He put love and compassion in our hearts, that we may take partners from among ourselves. He put partners in the world from among us, that we may partner with each other and feel that love and compassion, and may dwell in tranquility. You get what I mean? We may dwell in tranquility with our spouses, with love and compassion, that we can trust our partners, and our partners can trust us. But between Allah and our partners, there's a relationship we have with ourselves. You see, you've got to have a relationship with your Creator, our universal Creator, and you've got to have a relationship with God, the one unique power, the trusting in God. And then God gave us the ability to be caring to ourselves. And the question is, do you trust yourself? So that's what the other teaching came into being, the universal bliss teaching, which is about you learning to relate to you and your life as an empowered adult. The TBR teaching is about being a believer. The UB teaching is about being an adult. Like, do you really trust yourself? Are you living in a way that you can trust yourself? You understand? That with your mind, God gave you a mind. Are you looking after it? Understand? Or are you neglecting it? Just listening to superstition, ignorance and arrogance and carrying on, feeding the mind all negativity and rubbish. Not cleansing the mind of the negativity and rubbish you've already consumed. Are you just neglecting your mind? Like, I don't do that anymore. I take responsibility for my mind, and I cleanse my mind of all distorted misperceptions. I open my mind to truth, and I learn, grow and develop every day, develop my mind. What about my body? I just told you my teeth. I always tell you, brush your tongue. Don't forget to brush your tongue. It's very important to brush it. And not only brush your teeth and floss, at least a couple times a week floss if you don't floss every day. And you get those other things that it's easy to floss, it looks like a hacksaw, like a special type of a knife cutting. You just put it there and it's easy to floss. Make it easy for you. And brush your tongue, because your tongue, a lot of toxins get released from the tongue, and if you don't clean it, it doesn't help you release toxins, and there's poor dental and oral health. That's not good, and it's not nice if somebody kisses you. It's not going to be nice. You know what I mean, for them. So it's important for us to look, what do we have? A mind, a body, we have teeth. Let's care for it. You see, if you care for your teeth, you brush your tongue too. At least once a year, go and get a cleaning. They say twice a year, but at least once a year, go and get a cleaning. Well, if you smoke, if you don't brush your teeth, then get a cleaning more than twice a year. But if you brush at least daily and all that, look after yourself. Don't have tea and coffee and all staining stuff, cigarette smoking. You can get away with once a year. You can, but you can do it twice a year or more if you require. So what I'm saying is, do you trust yourself? Are you a person who trusts yourself with your mind, with your body, with your teeth? I'm just saying, do you trust yourself with your appearance? Do you care for yourself? See, so I've been teaching my students to trust in God. I've been learning to trust in God. And I've been, from that level of security, we're not needy, co-needy, anti-needy. We're not abandoning ourselves. We know that God is taking care of us. We don't have to take care of ourselves. We can be caring to ourselves. You see, this is what I'm saying. That when you know God is taking care of you and everybody around you, your future husbands included, you don't have to take care of them and they don't have to take care of you. You can be caring to you. You can be caring to you. If you're insecure, if you're trying to take care of yourself and you're trying to take care of everybody else and you're trying to get people to take care of you, you will not be caring of yourself. You can't trust yourself. I relax, I ease up every day. I have a spiritual practice of worship. I have a personal practice of easing up. There are things that I do every day. I wash, I clean, I use water in the toilet. I'm interested in my mental hygiene. I'm interested in my physical hygiene. I happily care for my mind, my body. I'm interested in my emotional hygiene, how I feel, who I interact with, who I connect with. I don't interact with low vibration people anymore. Not that I judge them. They're not just good. They're not good for the way I feel. And they don't want to be raised in vibration. They want to stay there. So much so that I don't do counseling anymore. You know what I mean? I don't really do counseling anymore because it's not good for me. It can make you sick. So this is what I'm saying. So over the years, I've learned to trust in God as an adult, not just as a child in religion. And over the years, I've learned to go beyond self-abandonment. I was a guy who would, smoke cigarettes, do drugs, extremely aggressive, resistant, controlling. You could say I was a narcissist back in the day, typical chauvinistic kind of Indian man, unavailable, all that sort of thing, but want everybody to be available to me and all that, complaining, blaming. But I've trusted in God now, and I actually trust in myself. I trust in God, but I know that God is taking care of us all, and I'm caring for me. That's what God has given us, that ability to be caring to ourselves. You can be caring to yourself if you want to. Stop worshipping Satan. Become aware that God is with you and for you. Feel that security. You can become self-full. You can play a very self-beneficial role in your life. We also have the teaching that is free to all those who bought the book, and when it was launched, and if you want to sign up, you can sign up for it as well. The book club, where we teach people about self-benefiting. I'm taking people through a very deep and elaborate journey through understanding the blocks, the baggage, and the barriers to being self-benefiting. So we've got that teaching going on as well. So I trust in God. Some of my students have chosen to trust in God. They've released that dependency on themselves and others dependency on themselves. They have a relationship with their Creator, an actual relationship. In the remembrance of God, hearts experience assurance. Some of me and my students, some of them are experiencing that assurance. We feel good. We feel good spiritually, and we feel good that we are there for ourselves now. We're not anymore who we were, and we are transforming. We are there for ourselves too. God is there for us, but we are there for ourselves in a way that God gave us the ability to be there for us. We're happy that we can think and reason, and we can benefit our minds, our bodies, our feeling selves. We can heal our past selves. We can support a future self, inspiration. We can participate in our lives. We can play a role in our lives, to have a more enjoyable life. We allow ourselves to have a spiritual joy, natural good feelings with God. In the remembrance of Allah, hearts experience assurance. We allow ourselves to feel the joy of being ourselves, expressing ourselves as adults. Like you see me, I tell you I like having fun. I like enjoying myself every day. I have fun, I have play, I experience pleasure. I can do that for me. I allow myself, and I'm interested in my life, the quality of my life. I have dreams and aspirations. I have purpose. I have a legacy to leave. I'm interested in my satisfaction, career, work, and all that sort of thing. Myself, my life, and I want to use this life. I only live once, that I know of as Ashraf Moorad. You know what I mean? I want to give Ashraf the best he can have in this world of God's good, and prepare for Ashraf in this world, for the next world of God's best in that world. So I live with purpose, meaning, I trust in God, I trust myself. I'm there for me, my body, my life, my past self, my future self. I'm here for my personal satisfaction, my career satisfaction. I'm here for my future afterlife as well. I'm interested in not only how I live in this world, but how I live in the afterlife as well. You understand? That's me. That's what we're teaching the people. That's, if you're here, you're interested in something of this or another. It's transformation based, but this particular program is prosperity consciousness, particularly around spousal satisfaction. So I've been feeling happy with God, and I've been feeling happy with me, and I've been feeling happy in my life, and I've been feeling happy about areas of my life, and I'm looking forward to the afterlife. But one area of my life that I am not entirely satisfied in, that I haven't been, and is not ideal, is spousal satisfaction. I'm sure all of us can say the same, yeah. And so the Track Soulful Love program is designed by me, for me, to create and experience the best spousal satisfaction I can have in this world. You get what I mean? Like I did this is the Track Soulful Love, and I did it for the students and for me, to move into prosperity consciousness, to have assets in our life, people, things, and experiences that add value to our lives. See, I want to have God's good in this way. If God put people in the world who are there to support me and for me to feel good with, I don't want to keep them away. I don't want to deprive myself. You get what I mean? I want to let them into my life and attract them into my life and have an enjoyable experience of my life. So this was the third part of my teaching, the TBR, the UB, and now this particular Attract Soulful Love. The TBR teaching, the Believer's Refuge training, is really about a peace consciousness. Have peace. Live in peace, die with peace, be raised up with peace. Peace. That well-being that's got nothing to do with me, it's got nothing to do with you, it's got nothing to do with anybody, it's got to do with God. That with God I'm happy. You understand? I might not be happy with me, I might be disappointed with me, I might be disappointed with others, but I'm never disappointed with God. You see? So the TBR is a peace consciousness. It's ease, it's being pleased, it's peace, it's innocence, it's joy, it's unconditional okayness, it's assurance, it's reassurance, it's insurance with God. It's a good feeling knowing that I have God, God alone actually exists, and I have God with me, for me, interested in me, attentive to me, and everybody else, that we're all okay. That's a great peace within me. Great peace within me. I have peace. Now, I do recommend you to be interested in your peace, because if you're not at peace, you're going to carry guilt, you're going to carry shame, you're going to stress, you're going to strain, you're going to be needy, you're going to be greedy. Now, what kind of partner are you going to be? You're going to be overreactive. If you're a stressed out person, what kind of partner are you going to be? A stressed out partner. Not much fun, right? If you're going to make yourself sick, you're going to be sickly. What kind of partner are you going to be? So I recommend the peace consciousness, developing of your peace consciousness, develop your relationship with your Creator. You'll feel that expansiveness, you'll feel that flow, your immune system will be boosted, your nitric acid produced in your endothelial cells of your blood vessels is the Uber transmitter, which actually regulates your other neurotransmitters like beta endorphins, oxytocin, dopamine. This is all good for your mind, for your body. When you connect with God, blood goes to your frontal lobe. You're thinking properly. When you don't connect with God, you feel stressed and distressed. You know what I mean? There's adrenaline in your system, cortisol. You pick up weight unnecessarily and all that sort of thing. Because you're stressed and distressed. You're not feeling that ease. And women have always been, I got this to do, I got that to do, I got to please me, I got to please the husband, I got to please the children, I got to please God, I got to please everybody. Women have been like that. And so women, I encourage you to actually please, for your own sake and for your spouse's sake and for your life's sake. Recognize what blocks and barriers you carry, what religious baggage you carry that's holding you back from security with God. It keeps you from feeling that you have God and God is sufficient for you, and that you can get up every morning and you are grateful and thankful, and your whole body is boosted in immunity, your brain is functioning well, and you trust in God. You are His creation, in His care. You know what you are, you know where you are, you know what's possible with God. I would definitely encourage everybody to develop a peace consciousness. A real salam. Don't just say salam, but feeling all stressed and strained and distressed, and no salam really, but saying salam, really experience salam. You get what I mean? So that's what we do in the TBR teaching. And I would also encourage you not only to feel taken care of by God and know that everybody is taken care of by God, to experience that. Because if you don't experience that, you can't be caring to yourself. Right? And if you're not caring to you, what kind of spouse are you going to be? We want to be the best spouses we can be to the best spouses we can have. I don't know about you, right? But me and some of the students who are committed to the teaching, we want to be the best spouses we can be to the best spouses we can have. Anybody here wants to be the best spouse you can be to the best spouse you can have? Anybody here? Give me a thumbs up, anything, show me. If you don't want to be the best spouse you can be, that's okay. If you just want to have the best spouse you can have, but you don't want to be the best spouse you can be, that's okay. You can be honest and say, look, I don't want to be the best spouse I can be. I don't want a peace consciousness. I don't want to have a relationship with my Creator. I don't want to be a real believer. I want to be stressed and strained, Islamic teaching tells us that in the remembrance of Allah, hearts experience assurance. Islamic teaching tells us if you remember Allah, He remembers you. If you remember Allah abundantly, yours will be an enjoyable life. You get what I mean? We have if you want to be that a really spiritually developed person beyond your childhood ideas of religion and God, and you really want to be an adult, what an amazing partner you'll be. Because you'll be at peace. You won't make a man your God. You won't think you are his God. You understand? You'll know that you both are people belong to God. You'll know that your partner is a gift from God, that you're a gift of God to your partner. You get what I mean? If you develop a peace consciousness, You won't make stories, drama, trauma. You won't sabotage the relationship. You won't be in unworthiness. You won't choose low-value people. You understand? So I got to tell you this. You might be thinking, I just came here to find my partner. Why are you giving me a lecture on God? I got to tell you, this is how it works. That I know. If there's another way that works, I doubt it. I looked. This is the way that works. You got to be the best spouse you can be. You got to do the work. You got to develop yourself. You got to develop yourself spiritually. You understand? If you want to remain spiritually underdeveloped, you're in trouble. Not only in terms of not getting an ideally suitable partner, you will attract the wrong partner. And not only in this world, but in your death and beyond. You understand? If you fail to remember God, yours will be a depressed life. I'm not threatening you. I'm just telling you from personal experience. The Quran tells us, if you fail to remember Allah, yours will be a depressed life. You understand? So, if you're at peace, if you're secure, if you feel okay, if you're not controlled by the world, you're not trying to control the world, you're not running around like a chicken with the head cut off, you're calm, you're relaxed, you're peaceful, you're expanded, you're feeling the compassion of God, you're feeling the love of God, you can be compassionate and loving to others. If you don't feel the compassion and love of God, you're not going to feel loving and compassionate to yourself. You're not going to be loving and compassionate to yourself. You're not going to be loving and compassionate to others. What kind of man are you going to have? One who is not aware of the love and compassion of God and not aware of love and compassion to himself. Basically, he's not aware of God's caring for him and taking care of him and you, and he's not being caring to himself and he's not being caring to you. You get what I mean? So anyway, I want to be the best spouse I can be, to the best spouse I can have. And so I've been developing myself with God, and I continue to develop myself with God so that I can be at peace. And I want to be the most caring person I can be for myself, to myself. You understand? I told you, I trust me. I trust me. I benefit me. I won't, where I was before, I couldn't trust me. I was harming myself, neglecting myself, behaving badly, negating myself, neglecting my body, being negligent in my life, just living flippantly. You get what I mean? What kind of partner would I have been? But now, I'm there. I'm an adult, preparing myself. You know what I mean? I'm interested in my life. I want to get my, life in order, live as an adult. And from there, one who is aware of God's caring for us all, God's benefit for us all, and one who's choosing to benefit me in the way that only I can benefit. I'm open to letting other people benefit me too. People who are out there who can benefit me and suit me, serve me. I'm willing to let them in. God is taking care of us all. I'm choosing to care for myself in a way that God has given me the ability to care for me. He's not going to brush my teeth for me. He's not going to floss for me. He's not going to clean my tongue for me. You know what I mean? He gave me hands to do that. And a reason. And He gave us guidance. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Clean yourselves. Those who are clean are close to God. You understand? The Quran tells us those who are clean, mentally clean, physically, dentally clean, physically clean, emotionally clean, spiritually clean. You got to be clean. And if you haven't learned to clean and be clean and clean yourself, you got to learn. It's fine. I didn't know. I learned. I taught people, I'm teaching people. If you want to learn, you can learn. So if you got this peace consciousness and you got this progress consciousness, you're living as a progressive person. Not just, I got a job, I earn my own money, I'm so smart. Yeah, but are you progressive? Can you trust yourself? Can you trust yourself? Can you trust yourself to care for you? Can you trust yourself to draw into your life another who will care for you? Can you trust yourself? You understand? That you will care for you. If you won't care for you, if you can't trust yourself to care for you, can you trust yourself to let somebody else care for you? You get what I mean? You got to trust yourself to care for you so that you can trust others to care for you. If you care for you, you let others care for you. See, if you don't care for you, you don't care whether you're cared for or not by God. You don't care for whether you're cared for by you or not. You know what I mean? You won't care whether people care about you or not. You'll just marry and then complain and blame and act like a victim. So we got a peace consciousness. We got a progress consciousness, a power to progress consciousness. You got your spiritual power. You got your personal power. You're living in your life where in supporting a life that is a life that works, a life that is enjoyable. You're into your personal satisfaction. You're valuing your life. You understand? You're valuing your life. Not only are you valuing you, your mind, your body, you're caring for you in that particular way, the way you feel. Not only are you caring for you, your mind, your body, but you're caring for your life. You're interested in enjoyment in life. You not only feel that spiritual joy, but you feel that psychological expression. You allow yourself to be. You joyfully express yourself. You enjoyably apply yourself, like I'm doing. I'm having fun, by the way, if you didn't realize it. I'm doing something that I love doing. I'm doing something that I enjoy doing, something that my heart is in, I'm passionate about. I'm not doing this for the money. I'll receive the money, but I'm not doing it for the money. I mean, I'm not a businessman, right? I want to become one in the future, but for now, I'm not really one, But my thing is, I'm doing what I love doing. I'm spending my time with people that I respect. I respect each and every one of you for being here. You know that? Because you are reaching beyond other people at this time in history. You are reaching. Other people have never heard not even 10% of what I'm telling you here. You know what I mean? Maybe not even 1% of people. I gave a talk last week, Saturday, I told you about that. And a lady came up to me, at the break, and she said to me, Ashraf, everybody talks about what you're talking about. I said, really? I was about to say, I don't know, introduce me to them. And she said, but nobody explained it the way you explained it. I said, okay. She said, we've heard about God. We've heard about Iman, Amal, lifetime. We've heard, but nobody has explained it the way you've explained. I told her, you know why? Do you know why I explained? Because Einstein said, you can only explain it well enough if you understand it well enough. I said, that's why. Everybody might be telling you things from their madrasa, from their head, what other people told them. It's all just at the short-term memory, level. It's not really integrated into their personality. And they don't really know what they're telling you, but they like regurgitating information. I have heard this knowledge, I've received this knowledge, I've integrated this knowledge, and it's here for you too, if you want to. I don't want to lie to you and just tell you, you know what, you can get your man of your dreams. You can. But I'm telling you, if you have a peace consciousness, if you have a progress or power to progress consciousness, if you are interested in prosperity in this world, if you're interested in your personal satisfaction, if you're interested in spousal satisfaction, if you really are interested in an enjoyable experience of life, there's a way. I can show you that way. You get what I mean? So peace, power, prosperity, consciousness. We are talking in this particular teaching about allowing yourself to have an enjoyable experience of life. If you're a person who has spiritual joy, I feel spiritual joy at my Creator. I'm like, woohoo. I have every reason to rejoice. God is compassionate, loving, giving, forgiving. He gave me guidance. I have every reason to feel great now. I have the guidance. I'm using the guidance. I'm on the path. I'm very happy with my spiritual progress. I have every reason to rejoice. That's the most important thing, because this world was created for the afterlife, not just this life. But don't forget your portion in this world, but it's the afterlife. I'm already, scoring points for the hereafter. I am a winner. You understand? So I have every reason to feel good. And I'm also not only in Iman, faith, but I'm in Amal. I'm conducting myself honorably. I'm being caring to me in a way that God has taught us. I eat halal and tayyib. I, exercise. I do things that benefit me. I am living in a way that is respectful of this body that God has given me, the mind, the teeth, the mouth, the feeling state. I'm there taking care of what God has given me, and what I have. I'm valuing my life. I'm interested in the tayyib life. I just don't want to get to be with people and complain and blame and, get frustrated and all that sort of thing, get divorced again. I don't want to go through that. This time, I'm doing it proper. I'm a man of security, a man of selffulness, I'm a man of satisfaction in my life. Now I can focus on spousal satisfaction in this world. So peace, power, prosperity, that's what it's all about. And if you develop yourself in peace and power, prosperity, the afterlife, there's paradise. You have a paradise consciousness. Now I want to tell you that the things that I'm saying to you obviously have been around for a long time, but haven't been understood and haven't been integrated and haven't been utilized. So saying to you, I admire you because you are part of my prosperity. Those of you who are here are great value to me. In your being here, you allow me to be me, you allow me to express myself, you value me and the value that I am to you. I can be a value to you. I can be a value to you. And you find value in this. Anybody finding value in this? Anybody finding value in this? Are you finding value in this? Are you getting anything out of this? Is there any benefit for you? Let me know, please. Give me a thumbs up, something. Getting value, because I don't want to assume things. Sometimes we assume that the people with us value us and they want us and they like us. In the meantime, they don't really. They, for some other reasons, you know what I mean? So, in me being me, in me expressing myself, not me trying to please you and make you happy, just me being me and me sharing myself with you and me caring about you in this particular way, and I'm extending this caring, you know. Some of you may say, wow, this is of value to us, and we like being here, we like listening. We're not trying to change him, we're not trying to control him. The way he is as a teacher, the way he is as a mentor, the way he is showing us what he knows, he's sharing the guidance that was given to him. You know, we like him. You know, so if that is going on, then I like you. You know what I mean? I like you too. That I value you because you value me. There's mutual valuing here. You are teachable, you're here on a Saturday, you could be somewhere else where everybody else is, you're listening, you're responding. If I ask you for feedback, you share feedback with me, some of you give me what I want, I'm thankful for that. It's a good relationship with most of you. I have a great relationship with most of you as a teacher, as a supporter, and you as a student. You know, it's good. I'm happy. I don't know. Some of you are happy. I'm happy. We're happy. We've got a good thing going on here. We're learning. As long as you're getting value, come along and stay. If you're not getting value, it might be time for a divorce. You get it? I mean, you can divorce me. I can divorce you. If it's not working out between us, you know, you can you can go your way, I can go my way. We don't have to continue this relationship. But if you are getting something out of this, then good for you. If you are getting something out of this, then our relationship can continue. You get what I mean? We can build it. You can show up here more often. You can ask more questions. You can participate more. You can get more involved with this teaching. And I can get more involved in the teaching, which I'm constantly getting more involved. All right, so that is my introduction for today. That I want to remind you that this work is couched in God consciousness, self-benefiting, and in having a life that is supportive of satisfaction. This is about going beyond unworthiness and shame, because that is going to hold you back. You're not going to connect with God. You're not going to connect with yourself. You're not going to care for yourself, your body, your life. If you've got shame, unworthiness, if you've got neediness and greediness, you're not going to connect with yourself. You're going to be self-abandoning. You're just going to be controlled by the world, trying to get more and more and more in the world, losing yourself in the world. You're not going to be the best partner you can be, and you're going to, it's not going to work out. If you are unworthy, feeling unworthy, not good enough, shameful, second-class citizenships, the kind of stuff that India women usually have, that women from India have lived with and continue to live with. If you got Indian DNA, you got these challenges to overcome. You know what I mean? And not to say other women don't have it, but mainly Indian women, from cultural perspective, have a lot of shame and guilt and unworthiness issues, not good enoughness issues to address, and neediness, greediness. If you got that going on, dependency on others, want a man to be your God, treat your man as a God, want your man to treat you as a God. I doubt that, but can happen. It's going to hold you back. If you are not really feeling secure, if you are insecure, you'll be so controlled by the world, needy, co-needy, anti-needy. You will be so controlled. You'll be so into relief, safety, excitement. You'll be trying to avoid feeling bad. You'll be trying to feel good, that you won't feel secure. And if you're insecure with that unworthiness, that guilt, that shame, that not good enough, that second-class citizenship, that greediness, neediness, you won't be caring for yourself. You'll be self-abandoning. You who can't trust yourself because you don't trust God. And if you don't trust yourself to care for yourself, how can you trust yourself to attract somebody to care for you? And the people you get they won't be trustworthy because you don't trust you, because you don't trust God. You get what I mean? So, and you can be caring to yourself and extend that caring by letting people, things, and experiences come into your life. That is developing a prosperity consciousness. And you can then actually learn to be caring to others. See, that is the foundation of our work here. If you are in this teaching and you just only saying, just show me how to get my man, it's not going to work. You will get your ideally suitable spouse if you are within the philosophy of this teaching. We don't want you just to get a man who you're very happy with and he's not happy with you. Sooner or later he'll leave you. You get what I mean? If he's smart and progressive. If he's self-abandoning, needy, he'll stay. So, if he's using you, getting some benefit out of you, he'll stay. The ones that have not any value to you will stay because you're more value to them than they are to you. All right. So this is the philosophy from which we're operating. I did say today that we're going to get a bird's eye view of the work that we've been doing. We've been doing this work for a while. I thank you for that. And again, I want to acknowledge you for your courage and your commitment to step into the unknown, where your mothers, aunties, where you didn't know God and the benefiting of God, where you didn't know your adult self and your adult potentials to benefit you, and where you didn't know that you can benefit yourself by attracting a person to satisfy your spousal satisfaction, where you didn't know that you can be a caring person to other people. You know, you stepping out of unconsciousness into consciousness. A lot of women, I mean, I've shared this with a lot of women publicly, but very few women will come forward, and we'll look at why that is. So the more you have a need for approval, the more you need to belong to certain people, or they need to approve of you. You won't want to realize you belong to God, and you won't want to be caring to yourself, because if you need approval from others, you are more interested in them saying that you're okay and them accepting you. You're not interested in God's acceptance of you. You won't be interested in caring for yourself because they might not like it that you are progressing. You know what I mean? So those who are deeply having a need for approval, a need for acceptance, those who are deeply lost in the tribe, those who have not had an education from outside tribal people. You get what I mean? Like some people, they've only known what their parents told them from the tribe and other tribal people tell them. They've never gotten an education from outside the tribe. It's such a sad thing that Islamic teaching supported the world progress in every discipline out there, including science, psychology, and the Islamic teaching was about everything in life to progress human beings until about 300 years ago, 400 years ago or so. And then, especially when Islam came to India, they were not interested in any other kind of knowledge except religious expertise. So if you were around, hundreds of years ago, you would have seen Muslim imams and Muslim leaders teaching about life, psychology, science, everything. Muslims were the leaders in all forefronts of education. In fact, medicine, and I'm not going to give you a lecture here, and this is not promoting Islam, but because everybody here on the call here today is Muslim or is aware of Islamic teachings, I'm telling you this, that there was a time when the imams would teach you a whole lot of knowledge that would benefit you and humanity. And when Islam came to India, and the gurus and pandits, they were only interested in religious expertise. So today, the tribe only teaches you about what you should do, how ritual, what's right, what's wrong, this, that, Sharia. But they don't teach you about psychology, how to live. They don't teach you about philosophy. They don't teach you how to think critically. They don't teach you how to function in society. You get what I mean? So some people who grew up with their parents in tribal knowledge, which is only limited to, and oftentimes a very distorted understanding of Islam, which is missing the complete Islamic philosophy of life and living that benefits humanity. If you grew up with that and you listened to your parents and they were limited within that distorted view, and they didn't have a fuller view of Islam and how it benefits humanity, and all you listened to and you went to places of learning that they only gave you this partial view and sometimes a misguided partial view, you don't know the wholeness of Islamic teaching and how it's here to benefit you and humanity. You might not know that what other people today are saying from a psychological perspective that are non-Muslims are actually ideas from the Quran, ethics and how to function and how to live and how to live in marriage and all that. You get a lot of people from outside Islamic teaching today who teach Islamic principles in marriage and so on and so forth. You get what I mean? Which is not taught in Islamism. So if somebody is growing up in a family where the parents didn't know or only knew some partial knowledge and they think that's the sum total of Islamic knowledge, and they never were exposed, they didn't go to college, university, they weren't exposed to other studies, psychology, whatever it is, they didn't go where other people were teaching, because you might find certain aspects of Islam not within the tribal Islamic teachings of today. You'll find it outside. You understand? If you look at how society progressed, at the medieval ages, Islam allowed the global education to flourish by its own educational developments. It took humanity beyond medieval times, you get what I mean, into a new age. And then there came a time when the Western world took over and benefited from Islamic scholars and sciences. And if you go to Turkey, there's a museum there of Islamic science. I've been there. Or if you study and you do some research, you'll see that the Western world, how they acknowledged Islamic scholars for cosmology, astronomy, science, medicine, psychology, how the ethics and development of the Quran supported with Muslim people and how it supported humanity. So there's a large group about 200 years ago, before and after, a large part of Western scholars actually, they reference Islamic scholars and the contribution that Islamic scholars made. You get what I mean? But now in the last 200-300 years, there's no Muslim real scholars that are in a holistic contribution of Islamic teaching. Does this make sense, what I'm telling you? Why you are not as smart as you can be? Why you operating? You got a 4-cylinder, 8-cylinder. You're only operating on 1 cylinder. You understand why other people, non-Muslims, are making a go of life today, while so-called Islamis are backwards and remaining? Does it make sense? Are you getting it? I'm not attacking Islam. I'm telling you there's a problem in Islamism. I'm telling you that if you grew up within Islamism and you haven't gotten knowledge that is Islamic from outside Islamic sources, you are in trouble. You'll stick there and you'll be with the tribe. You're not going to evolve. You understand? You're going to live what your mothers have lived, what your aunties have lived. You're not going to evolve beyond your mothers and aunties. You're going to live what other women in your tribe have lived. And I don't know if any of them ever lived spousal satisfaction. You're not going to make a benefit to you, and you're not going to open the way for your daughters, your sisters, and other people. You understand? So there are people who are within the tribe, the Islamic tribe, and their knowledge is limited, and they're scared to look outside of the Islamic limited knowledge tribe, and so they are doomed. You get what I mean? Because anything outside of that sounds foreign. In fact, when I talk about the Quran, the Prophet, Islam, people are like wondering, what Islam are you talking about? I'm talking about faith, taqwa, whatever. They're like, what Islam are you talking? I'm talking about the Quranic Islam. You get what I mean? But a lot of people don't know. They know about Islami Islam, which is the history of it. Like all religions. What happened to the teachings of Isa alayhi salam, the Torah, the Injil, with Moses. these things became contaminated. So fortunately the Quran is still there, that I can read it and tell you about it, while others are not telling you about it, because they're following their own thing, right? So if you can hear me say that and you don't feel threatened by that, congratulations to you. It means you are using your adult mind. You can reason. And that's why I say this, when we do enrollment, we check to see if the people who come here, are they capable of reasoning as an adult? Because if you're not capable of reasoning as an adult, if you need to fit into your tribe, if your level of education is within the tribe that is unaware, and anything that is good for you sounds foreign and un-Islamic, you're going to run away from this teaching. So save yourself time, energy, and money. Save me time, energy, and effort. Time is money, and money. Save my facilitators time, energy, and money. We do enrollment to see, are these people really, we got a limited time in this world. My facilitators, we got limited energy. We want to invest it with the right people. You get what I mean? So if you're here, it means you're not controlled by your need for approval. You can hear what is being said. If you have a strict need, a firm need for approval, you won't be here. You'll be so tribal that you'll be lost. And you won't evolve beyond the tribe. You won't evolve in this age of transition. So the first thing that I wanted to introduce, well, not introduce, but in the introduction to share with you, is our basic philosophy. The second thing is also part of the psychology. Our basic philosophy is peace consciousness, progress consciousness, power consciousness, and paradise consciousness. It's all about transformation. This is why we do enrollment, and we check to see, do you want to remain the same? Do you want to remain a child and have ideas about God that don't serve you? Do you want to remain a child and have ideas about you that don't serve you? Do you want to relate with God in a way that doesn't serve you? You want to stay like that? Do you want to relate with you, your mind, your body in a way that doesn't serve you? If you do, there's no problem with that for me, but you don't belong here. We are looking for people who are prepared to reason. We are looking for people who are prepared to go beyond their current mentality, their personality. This is a transformational program. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's a transformational program. It's a spiritual development, personal development, life improvement, spousal development program. It's a program. It's, if you want to remain the same, if you want to think like how you always thought with God, with yourself, your body, your life, what you thought about marriage, what you thought about men, what you thought about whatever. If you want to have those child ideas, uninformed child ideas, you're going to live like other people. But if you step forward beyond that, if you say, look, I want to see this child within me, and I want to unlearn the things that hold me back, and I want to learn the things that allow me to move forward, then you will move through this period of transition. So there's a period of transition that's taking place on the planet, right? It's been around in recent times, for the last 50, 100 years or so, especially for women, that there's opportunities for women today that allow them to live beyond how women have lived. Some of you have actually taken it. I call it Generation Smart Woman, where you educate yourself, develop competencies, and you're no longer dependent on a man. Other women haven't taken it. Other women, they don't want to be non-dependent. They want to be dependent. They don't take the opportunity. Their tribe doesn't allow them to take that their tribal mentality says, that's wrong, that's bad, don't evolve, stay with us. While some women are progressing in the world, other women in the tribe, they don't want to progress, where they can develop competencies, they can use their mind. Some tribes say women mustn't think, they must let all the men do the thinking. God didn't give them the ability to reason. The man must control. This is India, right? So some tribes have these kind of mentalities that women mustn't think. What do they know? They can't reason. In fact, on a Friday, the men must go to mosque. They must cook the lovely meals for the husbands. You know what I mean? Their job is to please the husbands while the husbands work for heaven. They must just carry on slaving away and all that sort of thing. So if you want to carry on like that, go for it. You're just going to perpetuate a way that is dying. These people are going to die suffering, die in their sins, you know what I mean? But the new generation of people, sooner or later, they're going to realize it's time to wake up, it's time to learn, it's time to function as what God created me. I can think, I can reason, I can apply myself. So this is Generation Smart Woman. But that's not where it stops. From generation smart woman is generation progressive woman. You get what I mean? Progressive women have a relationship with God, a relationship with themselves. Progressive women trust in God and they trust in themselves. They put their trust in God, but they trust in themselves. And they trust themselves to attract men whom they can trust. And they are trustworthy women to those men. Progressive women. So some of you are competent and you've developed yourself, you're using your mind, good for you. But you might not be progressive woman. And that's what we're here to look at. What are the blocks and barriers that keep you from being a progressive woman? Because it is essential that you become a progressive woman before you can become a prosperous woman. You will not really be prosperous. You can't really have a life asset, which is a man who is there serving you in ease, serving you in joy, serving you in enjoyment, serving you in satisfaction, caring for you, if you're not really caring for you. Are you getting this? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? You can earn money, have all the money in the world, but if you're not progressive, you're not caring for you, you're not receiving God's caring, with the full caps, caring, and then you're not being caring to you, you won't care for yourself enough to let a man care for you. And you won't care for that man. You get what I mean? You live deprived, dissatisfied. You can have all the money in the world, but if you are self-abandoning, so this is what we've been dealing with, and we've been getting great feedback from some of the students who've been here, and they can hear and understand, and they are undertaking the transformational part of this. They are stepping into higher versions of themselves. They're stepping into self-respect, self-assertion, presencing. They're realizing that they are not just legal entities. They can own property, open a bank account, get a qualification. They don't need a man's, dependency. But they're realizing they can really be progressive women who care for themselves. They can respect themselves, not just their personhood, but their personalhood, their self. There's a sense of self-respect, self-representation. Some of the women are actually going through this transformation. These are the blocks and barriers that keep women back. You understand? That's why I do this teaching at this particular point for women, because women have a certain challenge in the society that men don't have. There are challenges that both men and women have in the society, like learning to care for themselves. But women have a unique set of challenges because and a unique set of history and culture that holds them back from this evolution. So if you want to have that peace consciousness and feel joy with God, that you don't need you or you don't need anybody and nobody needs you, then you can actually release that dependency on the world and on yourself and other people. You can realize you're created to depend on God. You can go through the spiritual development of actually becoming God conscious, or you can stay God unconscious and be all religious you want and fit into your tribe. That means you are a self-deceiver, munafiq, hypocrite, not really God aware. You understand? You can stay there, or you can become God aware. You can feel secure. You can go beyond you can grow beyond your insecurity. You can be an adult with God, recognize the adult truth about God beyond your child ideas of what it means to be a Muslim and what it means to be a worshipper and what it means. You can become aware as an adult of what God really is and how to have a relationship with God as an adult. I was just thinking this morning that can a child understand the nature of God? No, but most of us learnt about God when we were children. And even as adults, nobody teaches us about the nature of God. God is compassionate, merciful. Can children understand the concept of mercy? Can children understand the concept of compassion? Can children understand the concept of love? Can children understand the concept of patience? Can children understand the essence of God? No. So most of us haven't learned this when we were children. Even if we learned it, we couldn't understand it because we were children. And when we're grown up, nobody's teaching us when we're grown up, generally, right? So you got to become an adult and become aware of God and His wonderful nature. And what are the blocks and barriers that keep you from getting closer to God? How are you perpetuating insecurity, relief, safety, and excitement? These are things we cover in the TBR teaching and the Friday lectures. But this is what I'm talking to you about. You have the opportunity either to remain fixed in your mentality, insecure, be a beggar, feel unworthy, live like that. But if you do that, looking for relief, safety and excitement, you might have a lot of money or maybe not, but you won't be caring for yourself. You won't really care for yourself. Needing approval, you want to be like other women in your tribe. You want to fit in to a people that are lost. You understand? Needing the approval of people that are lost. It's going to hold you back. Needing that people to accept you that are lost. I was there. You're not going to care for you. You're not going to say, look, let me come right with God. That's what I'm here for, the first relationship. Let me come right with myself. Let me follow Islamic teachings. Be caring for me. Hygiene of mind, hygiene of my spirit, hygiene of my body and mouth and whatever it is. Hygiene of my feeling level, my past, my future, self, attending, healing. The tribe is not doing these things. You get what I mean? When you start caring for you, you're going to stick out from the top. When you have a relationship with your Creator and you're secure as a believer, you're going to be very different from the people around you. You're going to have peace. You're going to be at ease. You're going to feel supported. You're going to have trust. You're going to feel joy. You know what I mean? The Quran says, let them in the mercy of God rejoice. You understand? You're going to feel spiritually well in a community that is unwell spiritually. The Quran says there's those who say they believe in God in the last day, but they don't believe, right? They lie to themselves thinking they lie to God, but they only lie to themselves. Their hearts are diseased. This is a teaching about raising your frequency, healing your heart, getting closer to God, feeling good. And if you are with people who feel miserable, that are perverted and all that sort of thing, and you want their approval, you're in trouble, right? Or you want their acceptance, they're not going to be giving you their approval. They're diseased hearts. What they're going to tell you about you feeling good and moving forward naturally, and you going to have a healthy marriage? Or what are they going to tell you about the people who never had a healthy marriage? What are they going to tell you? Who weren't healthy, who didn't have healthy, what are they going to tell you? You know what I mean? So there's a transition taking place in society. Women have taken the first step. Some women are generation smart women. They can pay their own bills. They're not dependent on others. But they are self-dependent, which is a problem. Self-dependency is a problem. You've got to be dependent on God. So women who got their careers and learned to earn their own money, they are dependent on themselves. No, you've got to be dependent on God and be caring to yourself. So earning money is not to depend. You don't depend on money in a job, or yourself to get money in a job. You depend on God who has given you life. You can, through expressing yourself, receive money as an adult, like I do, like some of us are doing. Not working for the money. You don't have to. Sometimes women prostitute themselves for money. You get what I mean? So that sometimes they marry a man for money, and sometimes they get a job for money. You get what I mean? It's all about the money, whether it's a man or the job. But we are saying, look, it's not about the man or the money, it's about God. We are His creation, in His care. What He has given to us, money can't give us, a man can't give us. We depend on God. God will give us a man, God will give us money. We don't have to get the man, we don't have to get the money. The man and the money is not as important as God. You get this? If you're not getting it, it will be available as a recording for you to listen to and to be brain scrubbed. Because some of you might be like shocked what you're hearing here. Because nobody else ever told you these things. It just shows how deeply lost you and your people are. You understand? And why you've been miserable and the people around you are miserable, and why there's so much of perversion and unhappiness and misery and outrage at other people and all that sort of thing. But there's no peace and there's no joy, there's no trust in God, there's no claiming. Why God is not answering the answer? Why is God not answering your prayers for yourself and for other people who are suffering? Why is He not answering your prayers? The prayers of those without faith is nothing but vain prayers. You know what I mean? Anyway, generation smart women, they have got an education, but they depend on themselves. You want to become a progressive woman who depends on God, who trusts in God, actually, not in the mind level, but actually. And there you want to be a person who's caring for yourself. That's a progressive woman who cares for yourself, interested in how you feel with God, spiritual good feeling, cleansing your heart, purifying your heart, peace, ease, patience. This is what it means to become a progressive woman. Have a relationship with God. Feel good with God. Natural good feelings. The natural state of well-being. The natural state of well-being that is blocked when you worship Satan. When you're with Satan, you can't see God verily in the remembrance of God. hearts experience assurance. The failure to remember God is a depressed life. You get what I mean? So you're in a state of depression, spiritual depression. You're not in spiritual expression. You don't know. Heart is diseased. There are many who say they believe in Allah in the last day, but they don't believe. They lie to themselves. Their hearts are diseased. Some people can't accept the truth. They find it very hard to accept what I'm saying. They run from this teaching because it's challenging. That's why I say if you hear and you can handle the truth hurts. I was speaking to a guy last Saturday and he says to me, the truth hurts. I said, the truth hurts the ego. I said, but lies kill the self. See, the lies kill the self. The truth hurts the ego. But lies, because the empowering truth is this good news. We had it wrong. Life is not miserable. God doesn't hate us. It's all good. Let's just realize the nonsense. Let's clear it. Let's accept the truth. Let's go from ignorance and superstition, arrogance. Let's go to awareness, enlightenment. Let's leave falsehood behind. And let's live with truth. Haq. You know what I mean? So, women who are smart, who can get a job and earn money and depend on themselves, are not progressive necessarily until they depend on God and they trust in God, until they can trust in themselves. They can be self-reliant, trust in themselves, until they can care for themselves, their bodies, their mind, their lives, their heart, their feeling. They can address their, problematic learning, get their unlearning, start caring for their future in this world through their death and beyond, start being interested in a life that is satisfying, start focusing on a satisfying life, start supporting, receiving Allah's good in this world through our death and beyond, tayyib living. That's how it means you're progressive, you're into your personal satisfaction. So if you're a progressive woman, it's easy for you to be a prosperous woman. If you're not a progressive woman, if you're a smart woman, we'll help you here. We'll help you here. There are a lot of smart women who are becoming progressive women. I've got feedback, I've been reading it, it's great. You are actually now showing up differently in the world. You are not the same personality. Some people are rigid, they are fixed. They're fixed in their mentality, rigid in their personality. Their reality is going to remain static. But if you start showing up differently, if you start actually becoming progressive and living progressively, you are different. Your life is going to be different. You're living as a believer. You're living as an adult. You're living as a receiver. You understand? Of God's good in this world and the world beyond. That's wonderful. That's awesome. How cool. Now, if you're a progressive woman like this, we can show you the method to actually experience attracting to you, show you the mistake that you're making, that other women are making, that you can actually draw to you the man who's going to add to your personal satisfaction, who's going to serve you in spousal satisfaction. If you are a progressive woman and you're interested in your personal satisfaction, we can show you how you can get yourself soulfully married. We can show you, if you're a progressive woman, how to actually become a prosperous woman who has a spousal needs, desires, and preference. We can show you, if you're a progressive woman. If you're not a progressive woman, we can help you become a progressive woman. And as a progressive woman, we can show you how to have a lifetime, or the rest of your lifetime, how to marry correctly for a lifetime, or remarry correctly for the rest of your lifetime of spousal satisfaction, that you can not only enjoy your relationship with God and trust in God, you can not only enjoy your relationship with yourself and trust yourself, and you can enjoy your life and with people in your life and your work and social life, but you can have a man that you can trust, who can trust you, that you can have this really connection with God, with yourself, with other people, especially with a husband, if you're a woman, if you're a man, with a wife, that there's trust and there's connection. How nice it is to have connection. Now, if you know the connection with God and how nice that feels, and you have the connection with you and you know how that feels, and you have a connection with your partner, with your friends, and you know how nice that feels. You have a support system that supports you. You know how that feels. Wow. Connection feels great with God. Connection feels great with myself. Connection feels great with my past self, attending to my wounded self and self that needs healing. It requires healing. Focusing on my future self and my future life. It feels great, enthused, inspired. Focusing on having people support me today, getting the support I require. This is what I call inner worldly success. Flow. Inner worldly success. If you have this inner worldly success, if you have this good feeling within you, you have these connections that are absolutely necessary to feel happy within you. Because a lot of women can earn their money, but they don't have the connection with God. They don't have the connection with themselves. They don't have a connection with their past self. They don't have a connection with the future self. They don't have a connection with their life. They don't have connection with people really supportive. They don't have a connection with, support systems in there. They don't have that. A lot of them, like you have me supporting you, you got that here, right? Other women don't even have this. Imagine what your life would have been if you weren't exposed to this. Imagine what other women's lives are, that are not exposed to it. You at least came here and you are realizing, wow, there's correction. I can correct. I can grow myself up and become an adult woman. I can become a progressive woman. And as a progressive woman, I can have people, things, and experiences that add to my joy. I'm already in joy. I'm joyfully expressing myself. I'm enjoying applying myself. I'm having fun and play. I'm really enjoying my life without a man, without money, without the things of this world. Now we can attract the people, things, and experiences of this world. Now we can focus on outer worldly success. There's inner worldly success of connection. And now we can have people, things, and experiences that support an outer worldly success. So you're really successful, when you are prosperous, when you have people, things, and experiences that support you in ease, that support you, that appreciate you, that benefit you, that really benefit you. People think, you see, so a spousal marriage, a spousally satisfying marriage, a soulful marriage is a marriage that really benefits you, that you are benefited. Now, if you are not recognizing God's benefit of you, you're not benefiting to yourself, you're not benefiting your past self, your wounded self, you're not getting the healing, counseling, therapy, whatever it is, you're not interested in your future self and benefiting your future self, you're not interested in your life and the quality of your life, if you're not playing that beneficial role and if you're not enjoying those benefits, you're not going to have a man who's going to benefit you. Does that make sense? So this is the end of this first segment, which is the introductory segment. There's a philosophy we're working with here. 1. 2. There's a transition taking place in society. Where are you going to be? Are you going to be in the cutting edge for women to support the evolution of women, go from women who are smart, who depend on themselves, to become women who depend on God, who are self-reliant, who can participate in their lives, supporting inner good feeling, and are interested in themselves and their lives and support an enjoyable personal experience of life that is satisfying. God's good for you in this world. Are you interested in your afterlife? Are you going to become that woman? And as that woman, if you are into that self-benefiting and letting others benefit you, that's the only woman who's going to have a man who really benefits her. You get what I mean? So first is our philosophy, peace, power, prosperity, paradise in the hereafter. 2 is the transition that's going on in society. Where are you going to be? Are you going to replay other people's lives that women have lived and continue to live? Or are you going to step forward into the unknown? Are you going to move into an unrecognizable version of you? Are you going to move into an unimaginable vision of what's possible for a woman in her self-respect and her life regard, and moving forward in personal satisfaction? Are you going to receive a man who's ideally suitable for you to have spousal satisfaction with? This is all cutting edge. This is moving forward. This is why this program is growth-orientated, personal development. It's a very strong part of it. If you want to remain the same, you're in the wrong place. If you need the approval of the tribe, if you need to fit in and belong with other human beings, if you don't want to recognize you belong to God, you know what I mean? If you don't want to be caring for yourself, you're in the wrong place. You're going to live out what other women have lived out, and that's it. You're going to die in your sins. Or you can correct. And you can move and become beyond who you've been, how you've lived, what you've experienced. You can open the way for other women. You can become leaders of women by opening this way. I am demonstrating this to you. I'm opening the way. As I guided to open the way for me, I'm opening the way for you. I'm telling you that I have a growth mindset. I have a learning, growth, and development orientation. You can have a learning, growth, and development orientation. You don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be perfect. We're always ongoing learning. We are prepared to see where we're failing ourselves. We're prepared to see where we're losing out with God, and we're prepared to correct. We're prepared to see where we're losing out with ourselves, and we're prepared to correct. We're prepared to see where we're losing out in our lives, and we're prepared to correct. We don't want to be losing out. We don't want to be losers. We want to be winners. If you want to be, that's what we are. constantly learning, growing, and developing. Nobody's perfect, but there's ongoing learning, growing, and development. This is what it is. I'm showing you, I'm honest with you from where I was, where I am, where I'm going. You're going to come along with me, come along with me. You don't want to, that's fine too. So we have a growth incubator here, that you and me, we're here. We got a space created for you to come forward, for you to learn, grow, and develop, for you to realize that you got blocks, barriers, and baggage, for you to address that, for you to be supported by me. We have a commitment to peace, power, prosperity, and paradise. We have a commitment to depending on God, being really self-reliant, and opening up to having people that are reliable, that we can trust in our lives, especially spouses that can serve us in enjoying life in a way that really benefits us and that we benefit them, that we can have our spousal needs, desires, and preferences met. A lot of women don't even know what their personal needs, desires, and preferences, what they're going to know about their spousal needs, desires, and preferences. A woman just thinks, I just need a man to look after me, as long as he doesn't hit me, as long as he doesn't beat me. That's very good. You know what I mean? As long as he looks after me, that is all child. No man can look after you. God is looking after you. But a man can be caring to you. As a woman, adult woman, as adult woman, you can want men to be caring to you, not to take care of you. Understand? God is taking care of you. You've got to be able to see that difference. What it means when you say somebody's taking care of me, nobody can do it. Nobody who was created can take care of themselves and take care of you if you are created. Only your Creator. So these are things you can learn, you can grow, and you can develop. You can become aware. If you want to become aware, this is a journey that we're on together to actually learn, grow, and develop, if you want to. If you're prepared to evolve beyond your tribe, if you're prepared to open the way for yourself and other people in this world, then we're here. And we can step into a forward movement in prosperity. But if you're not in your progress consciousness, we can help you there too. But if you're in your progress consciousness, we can show you how to step into your prosperity consciousness, how you can really attract what God has given to you, how you can really step into the potentials and the possibilities, where you can experience the most satisfying, fulfilling experience of life possible for you, that God gave to you, that Satan doesn't want you to have. If you want that. Or you can live like everybody else and see where that goes. Not me. Alright, I'm going to stop there for now. And I'm going to open the floor for sharing. And as I said, today we're going to get a bird's eye view. We're going to take all the teaching and put it together in a bird's eye view, so that you can actually see where we're coming from, where we are. Now you can understand this whole model and where you require assistance, and that you can get assistance from me where you require. You have to come forward and say, I heard you, I'm stuck here, this is where I am, can you assist me? I need some coaching here, there, whatever. But we're going to give you that today. Bird's eye view of the whole teaching. But I just wanted you to know, this is the philosophy, this is the transition that's open in society. What we are doing here is we are committed to natural good feeling good naturally. We're choosing health and hygiene at every level, marital hygiene, marital health. We're choosing to live with light. We're choosing something that on the planet hasn't been. We're opening the way. We've been given this privilege, and we're here together, and we're learning, growing, and we're making corrections. We're prepared to move beyond the tribal and societal ways. We're evolving from smart people to progressive people to prosperous people, so that we can live paradise in the world beyond. So that's where I stop for now. I see some hands up. So let's continue.